humanity's issues with the whole parenting thing. It's like you grow up, become adults, and then you put a government in place to also become a parent over you and tell you how you're supposed to act. Like you don't know how you're supposed to act. You know, like you don't know how to govern yourself, or you don't know how to take care of yourself. And I think that people really need to take the time out and realize who and what we have been giving our energy and power to. You want a parent, but then when the parent goes psycho, then you want to blame the parent, but then you don't want to take personal responsibility to do anything to change it. And that's a big issue for human beings, period, is personal responsibility.
That's right. Absolutely correct. And you're correct in what you said. You know, we listen to what the government says, to what the church says, to what the school says. We listen to everybody but ourselves. You know?
Right.
That's why people don't know what to do. I look out there. I travel globally all the time. And I look at these people and I talk to them. They have no clue about anything. The government says to take the H1N1 shot, they take the shot.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's just craziness right there.
You know, government says take this pill for your cholesterol, they take the pill. You know, they don't think. Well, if they said to, why would they lie to me? Why would they want to hurt me? You know, they just wear blinders. And that's because we're conditioned to accept whatever we're told. We're not conditioned to have our own mind.
Someone asked, could you speak about the 24 chromosome?
Well, I would if they existed, but they don't. And I think they're talking about the strands of DNA. There's only 2. You know, I don't care if you're an amoeba, a human being, an alien, an elephant, there's only 2 strands of DNA. I said to once at a New Age conference, of course, that's why I'm never invited to those things, about these 12 strands. I said, show me a model of how 12 strands could possibly connect to one another and not create a monstrosity. And they said, well, that's not for the physical human body. That's for your etheric body. And I said, DNA is for the physical body. You don't need DNA in your etheric body. It's just
right.
Well, of course, they just were very upset with me and never spoke to me again. So, you know, you have to think sometimes logically about these things and realize what the New Age has taught you since 1965, when it was created by the U.S. government, is basically to steer you in a direction of mind control and programming so that you're fed this information of la-la and you don't know what's real and what isn't.
Right. 1111. They keep asking. This has been coming up in the chat room a good bit. What is the significance of the number 1111?
Yes, for years people have been asking me that question, and that is a programming trigger. 1111 is a programming code, which means to activate to the next phase of your programming matrix. That's what that's about. That goes back many, many years.
Wow. Okay. Another question from Rolando. He says, what is the connection of the Rosicrucians, what is this word, Theosophy? Secret Doctrine Occult Books.
Mm-hmm. They're based in San Jose, California, the Rosicrucian Order. They, you know, for at least a century, the Illuminati have been trying to create different versions of the New World religion to impose globally. And back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they came up with the Rosy Cross, or the Rosicrucians, which was designed as a precursor or a template for New World religion. That's what that's about. And if you go to the headquarters in San Jose, you will see, you know, Egyptian temples and stelae and obelisks and all these things from ancient Egypt, which are very interesting and curious, but they really have a lot to do with the New World religion precursor.
Wow. You're getting some strange questions in here, Stewart. I gotta just go ahead and just let you know this. I got a strange question to ask you. One person is asking, what is the mind pattern of eating paper?
Yeah, that person tried to get that on my website today. Very clever trick person. But, you know, Eating paper. You know, the thing is, that's not enough information because I need to know what's on the paper, what color is the paper, when do they need to eat. I will say basically, you know, across the board, eating paper is a mind pattern of a need to absorb information. Then the question is, what kind of information? You know, what are they trying to download that they're not getting otherwise?
Right. I mean, they've been asking me like this in the chat room like the whole show. You know, they just kept asking. I said, let me just get. When I first saw it, I just started laughing. I was like, are you serious? But
well,
I'm glad I got it out.
It's funny because that person tried to get on my Q&A on the website. You know, the thing is, sometimes they ask a question and you can't just give an answer because there's other things I need to know about it before I can answer it. You know, you
right.
Can't just say, you know,
Exactly.
some people say, oh, I passed so-and-so on the street. What were they thinking? I don't know. You know, thank you for thinking I'm all omnipotent, but there are some things, you know, I just need a little more information about that.
Well, that's funny. Another question, I think another person asked the question, what is the secret